Greetings, superior beings, greetings, supreme being, where all the human race, our common enemy is death. Welcome once again on Try Something.Vegetarian. Well, I'll make the peace sign then. This is a broadcast: global warming hoax, eco-tax money scam, climate gate, NASA Masons, Europe's downfall. So then I have to switch this on. I've prepared it with a little text already. So is it possible that this is part of a bigger plan to reduce the global population, the eco-tax money scam, global warming hoax? Does it fit in with creating a crisis big enough to impose their satanic, Luciferian, totalitarian global government? What do you all think about this? You can always Skype me, Prologic999 on Skype, or let us know in the comments what you think about it. And others will also like to read your opinion if they're interested in this subject. I always check the chat and comments if it's really some interesting video that I want to know more about and what the people think about. But okay, it has to do with algorithms, so perhaps people are not going to find this video. You can see that certain videos had 70 views, it was a normal amount, and at a certain point it seems like it was added to their database or something, and then the algorithms get me. So let's start just reading this awesome piece. I had to restart my computer twice, and when I look at Task Manager, then Opera is like 17. It looks like tabs open, but there's only one tab open, so I wonder if something is wrong with my Opera browser. Now we hear the CPU fan going down a little bit, but it was blowing like crazy. Anyway, now I can read it with the speech engine.
Massive European elections voting fraud, scalar radiant energy Nikola Tesla used to rig elections. Breaking, Giga voting box fraud around, massive European elections voting fraud, scalar radiant energy Nikola Tesla used to rig elections. Breaking, Giga voting box fraud around France Timmermans used by NWO to set the tone for other EU countries. Posted in Politics on 25 May. Author, Micah Cat, Financial Times. The Dutch choose massively and cheeringly for pro-EU parties and for their new Führer. Frans Timmermans is the Dutch fraud intended to roll out the red carpet to similar frauds in other EU countries? Fraud in England is already established. Cloak and the Girl, YouTube chat remark, P. Hawk, get rid of Soros voting booths.
So during this intro I noticed that my speakers were not heard, so I was not able to hear the speech engine talk. And the intro is also to correct something in my previous broadcast about these George Soros voting booths, which are not Soros voting booths in reality.
Smartmatic says on its website, George Soros does not have and has never had any ownership stake in Smartmatic. So the petition to declare George Soros a terrorist and seize all of his related organizations' assets under RICO and the law on the WhiteHouse.gov website is real, but the story about the Soros voting booths is most probably not. Petitions.whitehouse.gov, Populist 1. A person, especially a politician, who strives to appeal to ordinary people who feel that their concerns are disregarded by established elite groups. He ran as a populist on an anti-corruption platform. Adjective 1. Relating to or characteristic of a political approach that strives to appeal to ordinary people who feel that their concerns are disregarded by established elite groups. There are people that are reducing the global population. They may be the cause of all your problems. That's why we need to keep the synthetic telepathy machine on. Hopefully the people that advocated reducing the global population are arrested soon. The idea is erecting a group for targeted individuals that makes statistics and looks for patterns among the targeted individuals. What is the most common reason people are attacked with directed energy weapons? Is there a pattern we can find among targeted individuals? Who is to be held responsible for the directed energy weapon torture? What can people do to make it stop? Dissident: a person who opposes official policy, especially that of an authoritarian state. Antonyms for dissident: agreeing, conforming, comply, obey, conform. Peace to you, Mr. Chu. Do you also have spasm attacks above your left ear? After these scalar attacks above my left ear, often my heart starts hurting and I think these attacks are part of slowly murdering us. Perhaps they do it this way so the targeted individuals tell the world about their capabilities and what they want, since government officials cannot afford being exposed and they want to keep this technology secret to have an advantage over humanity. They want to maintain the illusion they are protecting and serving us while in effect doing the opposite, reducing the global population and enslaving the rest of us. They use scalar waves, not microwaves, for these attacks. More information on my YouTube channel, and you can always Skype me, ProLogic999. Thank you for turning the comments on. You can also moderate them. Peace out. I do not believe anything the people that believe in man-made global warming tell me until the ionospheric heaters punching holes in the Earth's ionosphere, geoengineering, cancer, chemtrails and space travel with rockets are added to the direct causes of man-made global warming list. Natural gas is a clean form of energy, much cleaner than what they have in mind, isn't it? They just want to make you pay 10 times as much for the same amount of energy, which is plenty since everything is energy, as part of a program to create a crisis big enough to impose their satanic, Luciferian global government. The NASA Masons Apollo moon landing hoax is proven by NASA's own videos showing that hearing sound on the moon is possible, which it is not in reality, proving the NASA Masons faked the Apollo moon landings beyond any reasonable doubt, so we should not believe a word they say. They cannot prove to me that 1. It's man-made global warming and not part of natural fluctuations in temperature, prevent next ice age and warm periods, and 2. That any of the measures they have planned would have any effect or even the opposite effect of what they intend them to have. As long as they are still cancer chemtrailing us, it's clear they are causing the global warming deliberately. Cloud seeding patents, cancer causing barium, trapping the heat between the clouds and the earth and preventing it from raining, for their eco-tax money scam. Trust no one, nothing is what it seems. Recovery begins with non-compliance. Test everything you learn. Mistrust authority because some people were killed for questioning authority, but I do not believe anything anybody says anyway. People were conditioned by fake truth tellers, controlled opposition, shills, with lies mixed with important truths cleverly constructed to hide who really did it and what's really happening, programmed not to want to be truth tellers anymore. Some escaped their intricate web of lies. And here we are.
And here we are. There are many ways they can target, beam and cook people. And this is one way. Shows a picture with a satellite beaming Earth. Isn't that an ionospheric heater in space? It's not solar radiation we should be concerned about. It's directed energy weapons and the smart grid. Gigahertz. Nick Meyer at Nick Meyer Twitter. So this is what the global warming scammers, Europeans and Chinese, are paying for, and what the world will look like if they get their way. The next ice age, of course. You're as cold as ice. You're willing to sacrifice our love. You never take advice. Somehow you pay the price, I know. You've seen it before. Unpleasant truths, comforting lies. Chambers or someone. A cartoon. Everybody's standing in line for the comforting lies, but nobody is standing in line for the unpleasant truths. We see the 2019 European elections. And I've thought about it more. My father also said, or asked, I explained, I saw a video where they were counting these votes. And then the question is, after that process is finished, do they use a computer to add all the totals? Or do they make the calculation by hand? Is there a computer involved in the process somewhere? Because then, if there is, they can, of course, remotely alter the results with Tesla's radiant energy technology, also known as scalar waves. And they use these scalar waves and not microwaves to send these illegal voice-to-skull messages, to remotely torture people and to alter people's brain waves with the synthetic telepathy machine, as explained in the Malig patent, the apparatus to remotely monitor and alter brain waves. And a patent is not provided unless it's a working device, meaning that it wouldn't have been a patent if that device would not be capable of remotely monitoring and altering people's brain waves, their thoughts. So here we see the European elections, seats distribution in European Parliament. And the biggest ones to look at are this red one. Is that European United Left, nor the Green Left? That's supposedly huge. And then the dark blue one. Is it this European People's Party? Yellow. Alliance of Liberals and Democrats for Europe. And all of them together are almost 50% of the seats. And then you have a couple of other, what are these, überhaupt, parties, groups of political parties, I guess. Well, so that shift, could that have been created? Did they vote electronically in other countries? How much voting fraud is going on? There have been reports about other countries in relation to voting fraud, rigging the European Parliament elections. So you can all Google that for yourselves. Let's see. So I can look at this, for example. This is a picture the climate gators love, of course. The global warming scammers, the eco-tax money scammers. And again, like with their Apollo moon landing hoax, their most important reason is, of course, money, which is part of accumulating power. The main thing they're about is power. And one way they want to get that is by reducing the global population. So they pretend to care about these species that have died and see humans as a cancer upon the earth, and advocate population reduction, which I think is illegal to do. Killing one human is illegal already. Saying kill such and such or this or that leader to prevent World War III, that's all totally illegal. So I'd better pack a pipe. And usually it doesn't work that way, because nowadays they have someone to replace them. So then some other Jesuit or Mason can create that world war. They have hierarchical structure or whatever. And what they know as the chain of command and they've infiltrated governments around the world, also Chinese government, etc. And they're destroying countries and destabilizing countries from within to impose their satanic Luciferian totalitarian global government. They want centralization, power to the pedo, instead of power to the people and power to the peaceful. They want centralization versus decentralization. That's what it's really about when you're talking about a global government. So why do they love this picture? Because it shows broken ice. So what does that mean? Global warming is real. See for yourselves, these are ice sheets. And that ice is really melting. Hence we have global warming. And then you could argue it doesn't matter if it's natural or man-made global warming. Can I say WTF? Does that matter? It doesn't matter if we're all burning to death, basically. And next ice age, well, that's not really happening either, is it? Or is it going to happen? What do you all think? And what do you base it on? Natural fluctuations in temperature? Yes, they exist. We have warm periods and ice ages. Why not warm ages and ice ages, or solar warming ages or something? Plus the penguin searching for the Batman. Or not. So basically not to lay blame on people or external events only works if these people are not exterminating you, basically. Or is it just a trick to pacify everyone totally so they turn the other cheek when these satanic pedophiles come to take them away and rape their families and then torture them to death for some fictional entity they cannot see? And then we have the next picture. This one is the one I wanted to show. Source of quote, sunlight is just off stage to left. Well, let me first explain it myself, because they mess with people's minds. So basically this is impossible without two light sources. And they claim they didn't bring any lights to the moon surface. But okay, also the absence of stars. Out here in the perimeter there are no stars. Out here we stoned immaculate. The doors, and my god, it's full of stars from 2001 Space Odyssey or something. Well, perhaps you know it better than I do. Whatever, they are samples that I have. And I was just wondering, could that refer to the NASA pictures also of Earth with total absence of stars? Even the brightest stars that we can see during the daytime are missing. And some people think that's impossible. So of course, because of the Earth's atmosphere, etc., blah blah. But on the moon you don't have that atmosphere. No clouds. And you can also see more or less that light is coming from above here. So it looks like the sun is standing over here. If you look at this, here you see this is black. And it becomes lighter and lighter. Here in the middle you see most light, and there it becomes blacker again. So it's like it's being lit from above in a studio with backdrops, a very big studio. So the shade indicates from whence the light shines. So basically, if you have the sun somewhere over here, then this shade should be parallel to this shade if there's only one light source. So it indicates that there's a much smaller light source somewhere over here. Perhaps it doesn't even indicate that there are two light sources. But okay, what do they write? Source of quote sunlight unquote is just off stage to left according to shadows. Shadows from a faraway source like the sun should be parallel in the photo. From a close source on a stage set, the light rays would diverge as seen in this Apollo 14 photograph because the light is much closer. The shadows point to the light source. Well, okay, if that's not enough to convince you, the best evidence left out of most top 10s of things that prove that the Apollo moon landings are fake, which you're not going to find easily with Google and YouTube, that first shows you other videos of people that are in on the scam, on the hoax, that are making money of it, that are getting power from it. And of course, Google acquired YouTube. What did I want to say? I'm also busy with some other things. Google scam hoax. So they left it out of their top 10 of most important things that prove that the Apollo moon landings are fake. And the main thing is that sound on the moon is impossible, and it's a reproducible test you can do on Earth, like the reproducible test with cancer cell phone radiation, using a cancer cell phone for 90 seconds, then you have lumping red blood cells, which you can check with the microscope, a symptom known to doctors as rouleau. And it also causes DNA breaks and chromosomal damage. So there cannot be sound on the moon, and that test is with a vacuum chamber, and then you pump the air out of the vacuum chamber and you don't hear the bell, the ringing bell that's in it anymore, because sound cannot pass through a vacuum. It can only pass through air or other substances with molecules that can vibrate like water, but it's not as good as air, it's known. So yeah, NASA's own videos prove beyond any reasonable doubt they faked it, because there cannot be sound on the moon. That's Daniela S's video on YouTube about sound on the moon or something. Well, basically, if I'm going to start virtual DJ, then I first have to start my podium free, so that I can control that with the keyboard. Otherwise, the keyboard controls virtual DJ. Something like this. And then also I want to start up virtual DJ. So that will take a while in CPU, so there can be frame drops. But perhaps the computer can handle it. Next picture, controlled opposition. Kevin Annett, Lisa Haven, David Icke, Eric John Phelps, the Young Turks, Eric Dubé, Christopher Green, and Andrew England, perhaps wrongly listed. I was misled by a video, so if somebody claims it in video, you also really have to watch that video and question every source of information and verify if what they're saying is true. But I found out he's vegan or vegetarian. I'm vegetarian myself. And vegetarians are smarter on average because it's healthier to be vegetarian. Healthiest to be vegan as long as you take enough vitamin B12. Because animal protein, especially animal fat, increases your cancer risk. So vitamin B12 spray, milk, eggs, there are lists online of foods with most vitamin B12. So I especially like Eric Dubé. Christopher Green also has some pretty interesting videos sometimes about the possibility of world war, etc. And recently I've also watched the Young Turks. I usually find their subjects are not interesting enough, but recently there was a broadcast where they did have some interesting subjects. And Andrew Anglin, that's an anti-Semitic, homophobic, racist website I'm not going to name. But they also had an excellent article about the possibility of an Iran world war. And Trump's actions speaking louder than his words to claim that he hopes that an Iran war is prevented. So can that go right when these American troops are going to the US? While they've declared the IRGC, the Iran's official army, a terrorist organization a la ISIS, so they've put them on the same level. And what would they do if they run into each other, basically? Would they see each other as enemy combatants or not? I like this picture, but a lot more about it in my other broadcast on my channel. For this video, the subject is global warming. Let's see if anybody wrote anything in the chat. I doubt that, no. If somebody is watching this, write something in the live chat, then I can show it on the screen. I can keep the chat on. But it's possible there are no viewers, no one can find my videos if they're blocked by the search engines. So that's good to keep in mind. People that are critical of the global warming theory may be hidden, and it's very hard to find their channels and information. The truth basically is hidden by the NASA Freemasons. And all intelligence agencies are Masonic and controlled by the Jesuits according to Citizens Action Network, and nobody has been able to disprove this to me thus far. And yeah, you could argue control of the position is very bad because they prevent real resistance. They help with rounding up real resistance to the Jesuits and Masons doing these things. And to create the image of truth tellers that they're conspiracy theorists instead of conspiracy factists. I hear what's this thing supposed to be. This is a picture made with a 720-degree camera, basically. Alright. Alright, grab some of my latest chat remarks. I don't believe in anything. Stop population reduction, arrest those that advocate it. Cancer oil barrel, there are no entities, don't let them fool you. Stop religious BS. Think about the future. Viva la civilisation. Let love rule, y'all. Anton wears a kilt. Wrote, the communists killed 159 million 20th century. After finding out that one saying must be a lie, I also started doubting the others. Destroy 5G, prevent and prepare for World War III. Transforming reactive to proactive behavior begets lasting fulfillment. Rav Yehuda Berg quote. J. Dan 73 writes, 5G is military tech. It is a weapon. If it uses microwaves, it increases your cancer risk. Cancer cell phone radiation causes lumping red blood cells, a reproducible test people can do at home. You need a microscope for that, of course. Check my channel, Try Something Vegetarian, for important stuff they really don't want you to know. Try something vegan or vegetarian. In the Netherlands, the brainwashed masses voted to pay for that eco-tax money scam of the NASA Masons that Trump refused to pay for. Frowning face. Extra virgin coconut oil is awesome. Defend on YouTube agreed with me. Defend the Constitution. Defend the US against people that want to destroy US and put a global government in its place. Use chamomile tea with honey or green tea. It's awesome. We are all the human race. Our common enemy is death. Bayer knowingly sold AIDS-contaminated drugs, Factor 8. YouTube video. So some things were written in religious chats, etc. So I'm just selecting some things that might be nice. Some of these statements are not meant for YouTube, so then I could turn on the picture show. There you go. Islam is not a religion but a violent totalitarian ideology. In the Bible we also find stuff about killing people who tell you to worship other gods, so you could argue Christianity and Judaism are violent ideology as well. By means of deception thou shalt do war, former Mossad motto. Psychological warfare. Religion is slavery for the mind, bro. We are all descendants of Lucy and the hominids. But there was an important point. Perhaps it was erased, or I was thinking about it, so I have to reread that then. One moment, I'll think it up. Yeah, I wanted to say that that part of the Bible is in violation of people's right to freedom of religion. And the question is also, is freedom from religion included in that? Novus Ordo Seclorum. When people are forced to take an oath, basically, perhaps they can refuse to take that oath out of principle, I don't know. But I don't trust people that take an oath because there is no deity, no entity. So I wouldn't believe a word they say if they're doing it under oath. And it's easy to prove God's non-existence. It's easy to prove God does not exist. For example, with the Bible is a collection of plagiarized polytheistic myths rolled into monotheism, proving God does not exist. So they've basically plagiarized, they've stolen these texts from these myths and then rolled it into one religion for one entity, though they were in worship of several entities. They've just made something to enslave everyone and that everybody has to believe in, basically. To enslave them. And it's possible Satan has made all religions. Prey can be prey on, basically. Spirit, basically. Adon AI. And that's why they've programmed people to turn the other cheek when they want to torture them to death and abuse them, etc. And these holy men are allowed to do it. And the supposedly white Pope of Rome helps with the cover-up. And makes it forbidden to talk about child sexual abuse, and then there's that Argentina war crimes thing or something, I don't know. But other than that, he might be really nice, and perhaps he also has to obey his masters, the Black Pope, the supposed leader of the world. Petrans Golfenbach supposedly ordered the demolition of the WTC. And then we had Adolfo Nicolas, and now that's Arturo Sosa, supposedly. So then he's supposedly in control of all intelligence agencies, including Mossad, and all these intelligence agencies are Masonic, meaning Luciferians. So the neural network can never become the creator of heaven and earth. Serving the voice of God weapon equals serving the people that programmed it. Be prepared, no good reason not to be. Not too sure about many galaxies, but the NASA Masons could be right about that one. The earth is bell-shaped, which is easy to prove. At Eve's food. Compassion, I remember. Well, somebody wrote about compassion in their chat, basically. F World War plans create universal peace, world peace, or just peace. Prevent a false flag Iran attack to prevent World War III. Islam, Christianity, and all other religions may be destroyed, but countries and people may not be. Perhaps they are trying to be funny. Some people may be hell-bent on creating World War III. It is your job to prevent them from succeeding if you are government. Otherwise, it's just wise to save yourself from mutually assured destruction, MAD. Dehumanization is part of the 10 phases of genocide. If Muhammad married a prepubescent girl, he was not necessarily a pedo. Most child sexual abusers are not pedophiles. You are now united. Congratulations. Try something vegan or vegetarian and read up on it. Make sure you get enough vitamin B12, and being vegan is healthiest because animal protein and fat especially increase your cancer risk. One-state solution now. Passports and equal rights in return for the Temple Mount. So how to build a third temple without a third world war? That's the idea. People were misprogrammed to believe instead of know when they were children, when their brains soaked up every piece of information like a sponge, including lies. Nobody really believes. Can anyone prove me wrong? Yes, I've studied religion, read the whole Torah in Hebrew, and served the Eternal One, unquote, with all my heart, soul, and might. Now I know I am. Smiley face. Religion is a psychological warfare tool, part of real warfare. Some religious people are awesome, great people, but religion itself is still an abomination. 190 protesters killed in Gaza. Who are the real terrorists? The Gulf, unjustifiable. The people responsible for the depleted uranium war crime must be punished. Leader of ISIS, Bakr al-Baghdadi, equals Mossad agent, real name Shimon Elliott, question mark, all seeing eye sign. Blessings and curses only have an effect on people that believe in them. Prayer is brainwashing yourself with lies. Burn the Quran and burn a Bible to balance it all, help prevent the next ice age. And do it on YouTube. Set the right example, lead by example. Anything written could be a lie, whether written in blood or blue or black ink. We are eternal. God is not. Stay alive until all factors that control aging are under control. God does not exist, so there will never be a real Messiah. Unite black, mulatto, and white against the real enemy, death. Possibly anti-Semitic quote skipped by me, someone else wrote that. The barber pole emoji, that's not really spinning around. We must do healing stuff for universal peace. Jesuits and Masons take over control to end the world war. We can choose to ignore haters to a certain point, then we can start loving them. We are not at a crossroads, there are infinite directions we can go. The future is not set, there is no fate but what we make for ourselves, the Terminator movie. If they go to war, there will be soldier people dying. MAD is where that ends. Prevent a false flag. Iran attack to prevent World War III. Lebensborn e.V. was an SS-initiated, state-supported, registered association in Nazi Germany with the goal of raising the birth rate of Aryan children, of persons classified as racially pure and healthy based on Nazi racial hygiene and health ideology. Still doesn't make imperialism okay. And we now see that with these illegal wars in the Middle East, and they have the same goal that Nazi Hitler had, a Neuordnung Third Reich global government. Lots of Americans were against the Vietnam War as well. Smiley face. 4.8 trillion cost of wars in Middle East, plus 5,000 dead US soldiers, plus 1 million dead Iraqi people, and the formed depleted uranium children born for thousands of years to come equals costofwar.com. Frowning face, shame, my non-lord. In some other posts I changed that into other stuff. Home Alone plus the A-Team equals we won, smiley face. Bush and Netanyahu lied about Iraq possessing WMD, so many have trouble believing the same story about Iran. Americans, Europeans, Chinese, and people in India all around the world. Smiley face, happy me. MAD socks, baby. Socks, isn't it the cat of one of the former supposed presidents? World War III is our enemy. Our common enemy is death. Boycott all companies you must for a better timeline. Boycott all Monsanto companies, for example. Boycott McDonald's, cutting rainforests. Remember, boycott. Yeah, you could bake pancakes in front of McDonald's. People will love you for it. Free pancakes. So it is wrong to blame America as a whole, which the mainstream media often does, and to defend the country against enemies, foreign and domestic, also means defending us, US, against global shadow guff. UN equals Masons, so then Brexit can happen, question mark. Rothschilds of England's World War. That's a painting, isn't it, of Munch or whatever with the... oh yeah, the picture shows the boring, but there are certain remarks I don't want to show, but it's this, The Scream by, is it Munch? I don't know. It's also an emoji anyway. Oops, wrong one. Another picture show. Better. The next hit, squirrel. UN equals Lucifer. Desolate, Masonic, Satanic. Illuminati blood oath plus Putin or something. Oh yeah, that was another one I wanted to show of the Gmail. Because it's how Gmail basically. Scrolling. Where's that apron? Apron is basically the little napkin that Freemason wears. Is it in screenshots, perhaps? No, it must be in the other tree. Healing silence for universal peace. There, got it. Okay. Ta-da! The Gmail logo looks a lot like the Masonic Royal Arch apron, doesn't it? And are they investigating Knights Templar in relation to the Brenton Tarrant and Breivik attacks? Are there people within government doing anything about these secret societies? Or are they all extorted with remote torture technology and legal voice to skull messages, etc.? Ignoring people's right to privacy, also put forth in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Salvador Mundi. Salvador Mundane. No, it's Salvador Mundi. Well, okay, then okay, if he smokes a joint, but I doubt it. I think they've doctored with this picture. Very revealing. Tutu. This is anonymous. We are now truly anonymous. Synthetic telepathy has become an impossibility. We have hacked the NSA, CIA, and all three other intelligence agencies. We've taken over the world. Enjoy. Still nobody writing in the chat. The picture I found online. Shocking. Trump and the Lolita Island guy, Epstein. And alright, this is better. More informative, educational, just better. Yeah, so global warming. Is there anything that proves man-made global warming is real? If so, let me know in the comments, then I can cover it in the broadcast. Because if it is real and we can do something about it, and it wouldn't take too much money, etc., then I'm for taking these measures first that have the biggest impact without costing much money, and for letting the polluter pay for the pollution that they cause. But that will reflect itself in the price, of course, so who would benefit from that? So it's just a picture of Tommy Robinson wearing a Mossad t-shirt, and I haven't really been following him lately. So I hope I can follow a live broadcast where I can also write things in the chat. I could check if there's something live now, but I doubt it. Tommy Robinson. Live. RT News and Jama Mashid live stream. Audio broadcast. Well, I think it's too risky, and I doubt if Tommy Robinson is going to speak in that broadcast. I like this better with white. With white borders, basically. So I think countries with no-go zones should stop immigration until the no-go zones are settled, and if we vote for something that's only a little drop, so how much difference does it make? I think it may be too cold for the time of year. A month ago or so it was also too cold, 6 degrees too cold for the time of year. And I'm thinking about creating another broadcast. I might find it more interesting to read and prevent a third world war. And Yeah, how can we prepare for global warming basically if it's not alterable, it's just natural phenomena, and it could be the next ice age and it could also be the next warm period. And what creates these fluctuations is also the question then. The natural global warming and natural ice age and warm periods. So this broadcast was more critical. There's another broadcast where I'm less critical of global warming on this channel. So let them disprove it to us and have a real discussion, a debate, if you will, via Skype. Prologic 999. I'm here in the Netherlands. And I think it's too cold. It's really too cold. But if you are a climate freak or whatever, then of course you could also, instead of burning a Quran, burning a Bible, burning a Talmud, you could also recycle them or make paper planes, etc. Be original. Alright then, thank you all for watching. Do stuff for universal peace. And try something vegetarian or vegan, but make sure you get enough vitamin B12, because otherwise it's unhealthier than it's healthier to eat cadavers if you don't take enough vitamin B12, which you can also get in the form of vitamin B12 spray, so it's better absorbed by your body than tablets. Tablets are also possible, and otherwise you can go with eating foods that contain enough vitamin B12. I've covered an article in my previous broadcast that shows how much you need and what foods you could use. So it is possible to do it only with food, even if you're vegan or vegetarian, to get enough vitamin B12 and other minerals that your body needs. So everybody basically needs a balanced diet to a certain extent. And coconut may contain a lot of things that we need, so I think you could survive a long time on only coconut, but other foods might not have all these ingredients, all these elements and minerals that we need to survive. So I'm thinking thermal blankets in relation to possible climate shifts if you're doing something with nukes, and that could also happen, severe nuclear winter. So then you might need thermal blankets in your prepper bag. Alright, thank you all for watching. Tune in next time. Try Something.Vegetarian on YouTube. Please like, subscribe, and share this important video on your timeline for a better future, for a better timeline. Peace out. I don't know what face I want to make, but I want to do something original. The end face, if it stands still